Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sakina. I make sewing tutorials on my channel. So today's tutorial we're going to make this simple scrub neckline, I think it's called, Bubu dress. It's very easy. Just grab your fabric and measure from the nape of your neck to your sleeve, so where you want your sleeve to be. So do that measurement and times it by 2 and then get 2 of those fabric. So one fabric will be times 2 from the nape of your neck to your sleeve. Fold it and then grab another one and fold it in half. One for the front, one for the back. So I'm just drawing a starting point, where we're going to start marking. So I'm making this for my daughter. So the neck width I'm using is 3 inches. If you're obviously an adult, use about 4 inches. And then the neck depth for the back, I'm using 1.5 inches because we'll be adding extra fabric to the neckline. If it's just a normal neckline, then it will be 1 inch for the back depth. So anyway, I'm just showing you. Normally if you're doing a measurement for a normal dress, you do half of your shoulder and your sleeve, but because we've measured from the nape of our neck to where I want the sleeve to end, for my daughter's is 11.5. I'm just using the old fabric really, and then I'll go down by 1 inch and then connect that 1 inch mark to my neck width, or my daughter's neck width, like so. And I'm just marking the length of the dress plus 2. Length of the dress is 35. Add extra 2 inches for seam allowance, 37. Now I'm marking how wide I want the sleeve to be, 6.5. If you're an adult, about 8, 9, 10 would do, but for her is 6.5. Next time I'll make it bigger for her as well, actually, just so that it's more free. And because the Bubu dress is a free dress, you can really make it as wide as possible, even 13 inches. Okay, so I'm just trying to find a quarter of my daughter's measurement. Because she's a 5-year-old, waist, hip, everything, bust area is all the same. So quarter of that, then I'm adding 3 inches. But for an adult, find where your bust area is and then mark quarter of your bust, quarter of your waist, and quarter of your hip, and then add extra 5 inches to give it that free. As you can see, I've added 3 inches to hers. For an adult, just about 5 inches, definitely 5 inches extra. So to find your bust point for an adult, it's usually about 10 to 11 inches. So you mark from your starting point, you come down vertically and mark 10 to 11 inches. That area will be where you mark quarter of your bust point. And then your waist, to find where your waist would be, you got about 16 inches from the starting line, and then for your hip is about 24, and then you find a quarter of each of those measurements and then add extra 5 inches. I'm just joining everything together and making a curve. That would be like the armpit area, so it needs to be curved, not straight. And I'm just going to cut out my fabric. That's the length of the dress. First, we're cutting the top fabric because that's the back neck depth. So don't cut everything together, just the top fabric. And then obviously for the rest of the fabric and cut everything together. But when you're cutting the neckline, make sure you only cut the top fabric, which will be the back, as we've only done the back neck measurements. And then make a notch where the neck width is, and we're going down by 5.5 because she's a 5-year-old. But for an adult, for me, I'll use about 9 inches really to give it that nice look. 8-9 inches would do. And then where you've done that marking, your neck depth will go in by 1/2 inch and just connect that to your neck width. I made a notch earlier. That's where your neck width is. Makes it easier for me to see. And then just cut that out. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please do not forget to subscribe. And if you enjoy these tutorials, do not forget to click on the like button. Right, so we're going to join the shoulders of our dress. First, I'm going to join it wrong sides facing each other. I know normally when you're sewing it's supposed to be right sides facing each other, but because we don't have a serge and we want a clean finish, we'll do wrong sides facing each other first. Sew that along, 1/4 inch seam allowance, yeah, and then we turn it right sides facing each other. But before you do that, you can give it a quick iron so it's nice and flat, because you want it nice and flat, so you grab it right by where you've made that seam there. So you want it nice and neat, and you're just going to sew along with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So that means everything is done neatly. You won't be able, there will be no fraying or anything of such. So that's done. You can see the finished look. Hope you can see. Now we're moving on to our neckline. I'm just going to grab my fabric to do the neckline. So measure your neckline, and that will determine how much fabric you need. I'm just trying to find the midpoint of the back neckline. I made a notch earlier, and I'm going to make a notch when I find the midpoint of the fabric. Oh, by the way, when you measure your fabric, add about 7 inches extra. So let's say the length of the black fabric, it's 30, or I mean the length of the neckline is 30. You add about 7 inches extra, so you need about 37 inches, 38 inches fabric, and oh yeah, and it's 3 inches wide, so 38 by 3. That's for this neckline. So make sure you measure your own neckline. Yours will be different, especially if you're an adult. The measurement will be different. So what I'm doing, I'm going to make 1/2 inch marking from the bottom of the neckline. It's just to indicate where I'm going to sew and where I'm going to stop sewing. So you can see from the bottom of the neckline, mark about 1/2 inch like that, and we're just gonna go around like so. As you can see, that's done. Once that's done, we're going to make a notch. We're just going to cut the corners of the at the bottom of the neckline, but make sure you don't cut the fabric and you don't cut the thread. We'll do that for both sides. Be careful not to cut the thread. Okay, that's all done. Make sure you're cutting it the corner like that. You have something like this, and we're just going to flip the fabric inside like so, and this is what it will look like once it's done. You see that neckline. What you're going to do is to sew the black fabric to the flap. Make sure you only sewing it on the flap, please. If you sew the main body of the Ankara, everything will just look crazy. Like so, place your fabric like this when you're sewing it. So you make sure you sew on the flap, and this is your result. Because I used a corduroy fabric for the neckline, I didn't have to use interface. But if you're using a softer fabric, yeah, you need the interface to make it look more structured. I'm just adding the extra fabric to the sleeves as well. You don't have to do this part, it's up to you. I'm just adding it just to match the neck, because the black doesn't really match this fabric. Well, I'm just using whatever I have, because it's just something they will be wearing in the house anyway. They wanted to copy me really, because I like wearing stuff like this in the house, so they wanted one. So that's how we're going to join our sleeve. Our sleeve is 3 inches wide as well. So to finish sewing off, you sew wrong sides facing each other first like we did earlier, and then you turn it right sides facing each other and you finish it off. So 1/4 inch first, same allowance, and then 1/2 inch to finish it off. Really, I hope this video and my explanation has been easy, and I hope you'll be making your own Bubu dress. But yeah, I just aimed the bottom, and that's it really. There's not much to it. Just make sure you use your interface if you're using a softer fabric for the neckline. Also, where we made the flap, you can also add a little interface just to reinforce that area, to make it stay in place and make it flat. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Ta-ra!